Are you ready for complete randomness? Because that's what this is. I can't do a monthly favorites video because one, I don't have enough money to buy new things every month frequently enough for me to have new favorites every month. And two, when I find something that I like, I just stick to it. I don't buy things frequently enough to have new favorites at the end of every month. So that's why this is a random favorites video. The first thing is a little belated because it's kind of Christmas themed, but I still use it all the time. It's pine scented candle wax cubes that you use for the plug-in wax melting thingy-mabobs. This is a Christmas candle collection holiday tree trio. And it is by Ashlyn. Oh my god, I just love it so much. So it comes with 3 different scents. They kind of go by stronger scented trees, and I like very subtle tones, I guess, of tree in my room. So I've been using this green one. My next thing is something that you might already know that I have been enjoying, and that's knitting. I actually finished my scarf that I was knitting in a couple videos ago. So here it is. It's extremely patchy. It's probably not gonna keep me warm at all. It's kind of a mess, but it's my mess. This next thing is super dorky and you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's a water bottle. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to drink more water, and part of that was getting a new water bottle because my old one has mold in the spout and it's gross. This is a water bottle by Hello, like hello governor. I wanted something that had a loop so I could clip it to my backpack because my backpack doesn't have water bottle pockets on the side. And I didn't want one with a spout because I didn't want to have to worry about mold growing in it again. But I also didn't want like a Nalgene where you had to completely unscrew the top to take a sip. So this one, you pull the top open and then the water comes out of any of that. And then you just close it like that, and it's amazing. It was like $10 too, and the dorkiness just keeps on rolling. My next favorite is a TV show. It's Agent Carter. Oh my god, I could make an entire video about Agent Carter by itself. Long story short, Agent Carter was Captain America's love interest in the first Captain America movie. And it follows Peggy Carter. She's an SSR agent. People aren't taking her seriously anymore because the war is over and she doesn't have as much authority anymore because she's a woman in the late 40s, early 50s area. And then it follows her as she teams up with Edwin Jarvis, who is Howard Stark's butler, in order to clear Howard Stark's name because he's been accused of selling weapons to, I think it was Hydra. And Howard Stark's butler drives her around and like goes on all these little mini missions with her. The chemistry between those two is just amazing. It's just a completely platonic friendship and it's perfect. And what's really awesome about it is that fans loved this first season so much that we begged and begged and begged and we got a season 2. It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh my god. Go watch it. I don't care how. Just watch it. It's perfect. Oh my god. Keeping right on with the dorkiness is podcasts. When I'm getting ready in the morning for class, I listen to podcasts. I don't know, it just kind of makes the feeling of getting up in the morning and having to, you know, put makeup on and put clothes on, it makes it not as horrible. One of my favorite ones is Not Too Deep by Grace Helbig. She has YouTube guests or internet personality guests, and she just asks them the most stupid questions you would ever imagine. If you could have an extra arm, where would you want it to grow out of your body? If you could throw cold spaghetti at anybody, who would you want it to be? And the whole point of it is that she doesn't want to get too deep, so that's why it's called Not Too Deep. It's just hilarious, and I love it a lot. The next one does get a little #too deep. It's Serial. It's about real life murders and crimes. It's the only grown-up podcast that I listen to. So 2 things. My battery died, so if it looks different, that's why. And 2, we're in the middle of a tornado, so if the lights go out, that's why. Another podcast that I like to listen to is called Dear Hank and John. It's the Green brothers, John and Hank Green, or Hank and John Green. As they describe it, it's a comedy podcast about death in which they give you dubious advice, and they also bring you news from Mars, which Hank Green is obsessed with, and AFC Wimbledon. a football team in England that John Green is obsessed with. Sticking with this trend of podcasts by YouTubers, this is Tyler Oakley's podcast. It's called Psychobabble, and it's literally just him and his best friend Corey Cool talking about random things. And it's just a 30-minute conversation between Tyler Oakley and Corey Cool. It's a good way to spend my morning putting makeup on. Of course, there is Welcome to Night Vale, probably my favorite podcast of all time, but I don't get to listen to it that much because it only comes out twice every month. For those of you that don't know, Welcome to Night Vale takes place in a radio station in a town called Night Vale where weird things happen. Glow clouds randomly appear, and time doesn't work there, and there's a character called the Faceless Old Woman who lives in your house. It's just a weird little community, but it's so great. It's amazing. I love it. And sticking with this weirdness is the most recent podcast that I have listened to, and I basically binge listened to it, if that's a thing. It's called Limetown, and basically it's like a fictional version of Serial, and there's this investigative reporter for APR, American Public Radio, and she's investigating this mysterious town called Limetown. Everybody in it disappeared, and no one knows what happened to it, and she is investigating it now. And each episode is laid out so realistically, it sounds like a real episode of Serial. Unfortunately, I already finished the first season, and I don't know when the second season comes out, so hopefully it comes out soon, because no spoilers, but it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger and I really want to find out. And my last favorite isn't exactly a favorite so much as an obsession. It's Hamilton. It's a hip-hop musical about the founding fathers of the United States, and it's amazing. I would say you should go see it, but I haven't seen it because every ticket is sold out. The next performance isn't until January 2017. You need to listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is on Spotify. It's free. It doesn't sound like musical theater. It really doesn't. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it has me, like, completely addicted to it. The other thing that's so addicting about it is that Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who wrote it and who stars as Alexander Hamilton, he's so devoted to, I guess, the fan base of it. He understands our struggle of not being able to come see it. He's just very much about making content from the show and about the show accessible to the fan base. And I love that man. He's amazing. He also composed music for Star Wars. He's composing music for the new Disney movie Moana. There's talk of him starring in the new Mary Poppins movie. Hamilton also just won a Grammy Award. I almost cried when they started doing the performance on the Grammys because that was the only time I had seen anything from the show. I don't know why I'm still talking about it. Like, you need to go listen to it. Go listen to it. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description to the Hamilton album on Spotify. You started thinking, this is a hip-hop musical about the founding fathers. What could I possibly have to enjoy from this? And then you get halfway through and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. I like what they're doing with this. And then you get to the end and you're like, why am I crying about Alexander Hamilton?